Happy Monday to you, everyone. I hope you're doing well. And before I start this video, I just want to say thank you for all the support that came in yesterday when I posted a tribute to my father's passing on Facebook. I really appreciate your kind words. It means a lot to me. It's kind of like I'm talking to a family right here. Everyone needs social support. So again, thank you for your kind words. Okay, but now back to business. I got a question. Bryan, how do you stop a dog from whining or prevent it from whining? Well, it's two different words, prevention and then actually stopping it once it starts to occur. Well, like with any behavior, the first thing you have to do is what is the cause of the behavior? And again, I've said before, you start off with what is the proximate cause of the behavior? And many times that's what we do until we figure out exactly what the cause of the behavior is. But when it comes to whining, there are a few things that we know. Whining is vocalization. Why would an animal from a social predatory group whine? Whine. Again, you're talking about animals that don't make unnecessary noise. If they're going to make a noise, there's a reason behind it. First reason, I'm aroused. Yes, I'm aroused. There's some sort of stress response. And remember, the stress response can happen for two reasons. One, I'm excited. So first of all, I'm aroused. I'm aroused by something. And I become excited about that something, worked up over that something, or I can be distressed. Yeah, you're either the lion hunting down the zebra or you're the zebra running away from the lion. Either one. There's a couple of different reasons, but it all starts off with the fact that you are aroused. Okay, so why would my dog be excited? Why would it be worked up to a point that it vocalizes? Again, Captain is excited about coming to work every single day. He comes with me. He is excited about being here, but he doesn't vocalize that. But a lot of dogs do. So again, there's a couple of reasons why. One, there's local enhancement. I've talked about that before. That's where a dog sees other conspecifics, other dogs at a distance doing something. It'd be like a dog whining as it's driving by the doggy daycare. Whining as it gets close to the dog park. Whining because you're taking it for a walk, but it sees another dog playing ball, 100 yards away. Local enhancement is one of the biggest reasons why a dog would whine. You take your dog into a store, big department store, maybe a big pet store that allows dogs, and there's other dogs in there. And again, your dog can start to whine because of local enhancement. I see other dogs at a distance, and I want to know what they're doing over there. Maybe I want to participate in social play, or I want to interact. This is in the excitement column. Then there's stimulus enhancement or object play. That's what Captain does when I have the ball. I don't know if you've heard him before on many of my videos that I've shot in which I was going to use a ball as an example of coming when called, throwing the ball for Captain. You might have, my little microphones may have picked up this little high frequency whine. He's not whining because I'm on the video. He's whining because I've got the darn ball and he wants to play with it. Stimulus enhancement. I have something and he wants that something, or he wants to be part of that something. Local enhancement, stimulus enhancement, object play. It can also be food. You're preparing food. Oh, you're not preparing it fast enough. Come on, now a little faster here. Oh, and by the way, just a little bit more if you would, please. Yeah, they're excited about food. I get to eat. And then again, this list just goes on and on. People are coming over. I know those people. I really like those people. That's the social play or social interaction. So these are reasons why a dog could whine. Whine is nothing more than an outlet for my excitement, my stress response. I've said in many videos, we have to have an outlet for frustration. A lot of humans are whining right now because they don't get to participate in those outlets that they used to participate in due to the pandemic. So we're doing a whole lot of whining. Yeah. And how about people? Oh, come on, hurry. Yeah, we whine for many reasons because we're frustrated. So that's one of the reasons why. The other reason is I'm distressed. So that's a different kind of whine. That's a whine that says I'm separated. Oh no, I'm by myself. Where did everyone go? Yeah, you can just feel it in the dog. I'm separated. I'm lost. I'm distressed here. I don't know, where am I? I hear you guys in another room, but I'm in this room. Or you left, and now I'm by myself. I don't know what to do. This vocalization, this whining and crying out, that is the stress response looking for an outlet. Let me out. It's kind of like running water in a sink that you pull the plunger on, the stopper on it, and it just starts to overflow. Eventually it will, and the animal will start to vocalize. What other options do I have? I vocalize. Later can become physical. I can start to actually chew on something. These are all outlets for frustration. Another reason is I see a threat. Oh no, something's coming, and the dog can start whining because it sees a threat. It's going, that is going to be more of get your attention if you're around. Yeah, hey, Brian, little help here? Something's coming in my direction. Yeah, so a threatening situation. Take your dog into a veterinary hospital. Yeah, there was a long time ago when I would take Captain, he would whine while we were in the lobby waiting to be seen. I've owned many dogs that would whine. They'd whine in the lobby. They'd whine in the exam room. Yeah, they're anxious. They're anxious. Okay, and then there could be pain. I'm whining because I hurt. And I'm just letting it out. So can whines be attention getters? Yes, they can. Do animals whine because they're bored? No, they don't. They don't whine because they're bored. They have to have something tangible right in front of them. Something that their senses has picked up. Yeah, it may look like boredom because there's a dog out there playing with a ball and I don't get to go out and play and I'm just bored. No, it's because I can't get over there where that dog is and I'm really frustrated. So it's not boredom. It can be an attention getter, but that would require another member of the social group. You, another dog, is why I would whine. That's a signal to you as well. Okay, so now that you know all of that, again, before you can solve any problem with your dog, before you can address any behavioral issue, it really does help if you understand why it's occurring in the first place. That's the very first step that you must always take. So adhere to that, always. And it's okay to just go throwing out assumptions. I think it's just boredom. I think the dog just wants my attention. But remember, that's just a hypothesis. You now got to go work it. You got to prove it. You've got to run a little test on it. Because otherwise, you could be trying to solve something that's not really there. And you're just going to run into a dead end, or you're actually going to cause the problem to become worse. You're going to exacerbate it. Okay, so what do I do about the excited, worked up thing? All right, one thing I want you to keep in mind about this. The dog is excited and worked up. If you get excited and worked up because the dog is excited and worked up, what do you think is going to happen? Yeah, you're adding to, not taking away from. You get worked up because your dog's worked up. Oh my God, you're killing me, dog. Would you just shut up? You're getting all worked up. That's energy. That's energy. And you're adding to the environment, not taking away from. It's vitally important that this dog is already running on its own rocket fuel. Don't go lighting a match to it. Be calm while you deactivate. How do you deactivate a dog that is whining? Well, there's so many reasons, and I have many videos. So if you're a newcomer to my videos, go check out the ones I made on how to teach a dog to be quiet, how to stop it from barking, how to stop it from whining. But in just a quick review, like with Captain here, attaboy cattle dog. If Captain got really excited right now because he wanted a ball or he wanted a treat right here in my little pouch, if I don't want to, first of all, I can control and let him know when you will get that. Meaning, when you respond in kind, you will now receive the treat. You will now receive the ball. But that has to be shown to them, demonstrated to them, make that very clear. There needs to be a cost-benefit situation associated with it. So case in point, Captain starts whining right now because he wants a treat. I can simply apply a low pressure and say quiet, or leave it, whatever I want to do. But the whole idea here is I'm quietly, methodically, not getting worked up. I'm the anti-worked up. Quiet. Low pressure. That's why I don't advise a leash snap at this moment. Not happening here. Not doing it. This is where, at this moment, when it's whining is different than barking. Whining, I'm aroused. Yeah. Fight it with calmness. Steady pressure. Pull on that collar. Even if it's a flat buckle collar, pull on it. Even if it's a harness, give a little pull on that. What it is you're doing is that's your form of physical attention back to the animal, giving it a haptic signal. No. Be quiet. When they're quiet, then give the reward. That's when you can follow up with that reward. Absolutely. So that's called deactivation. And then by doing that enough around those things that make the dog excited, make the dog worked up, the dog will eventually habituate to those things. They will. Dogs are neat in the sense that they don't continue to do behaviors that only have a cost attached to them. They're not like us humans. They will drop that behavior in a heartbeat and switch over here to whatever gives them a benefit. I am not going to continue to repeat things that do not work out for me. Unlike humans. I'm staying down the road. What works out for me? Okay, so being quiet, being still, go for that too. You're trying to drive the dog down the arousal column. Back, down to the calm zone is where you want it to go. All right, and quickly, over here to this side, this is different. This is a different animal over here. When an animal is distressed, I'm not going to step in immediately and deactivate. I will step in immediately and be calm. It's called social support. Hey, notice I'm calm, dog. Do you see me worried about the situation? I'm not the least bit worried about it. The attitude that goes down the leash is often the one that comes back. And if not, at least what comes back will be less than if you're all worked up, you're distressed. If you're going, oh no, my dog's going to whine when I take it to this outing, going to embarrass me in front of all my friends, and I'm all worked up over it, and I'm kind of distressed as well. Well, guess what's going to happen? Right down the leash, and here goes your dog. Because just remember, they can't grasp everything in this broad, sweeping context that you can. It's this provocative event, or this provocative stimulus right here, right now, at this very second. And if I can pick it up with my senses, I can transform that into knowledge. And if I have previous knowledge, maybe latent learning, maybe learning that's just occurred through interactions with the environment, I'm now going to respond in kind. So you have got to remain calm. If dogs are whining and they do it consistently, I will be going into this in far more detail when I run my series coming up here soon on pharmacotherapy. But if this is something possibly a budding or developing separation anxiety issue, separation related disorder, or I perceive natural occurring and naturally acting humans and dogs as a possible threat, or I'm suffering from physical pain, then many times those situations we want to think about possibly using the chemicals, the proper chemicals that address these issues, that can chemically lower the animal arousal column down to its calm zone, or at least arrest it at a certain level so it does not climb higher. But I'll talk about that in the upcoming series. Then you want to come in with a desensitization program. Desensitize the dog to the very thing that causes me to be distressed. And that'd be slowly exposing your dog to it, counter conditioning, all sorts of things that you can do. But again, you may have to intervene with chemicals to make sure your animal's receptive to all of that work that you're doing trying to desensitize it. And of course, counter conditioning. That would be the example of I'm in a store, my dog's a little anxious about being in the store, and I suddenly go, well, guess what? You know what? You know, in these stores here, they happen to have this. They're called treats. And you're not rewarding the animal for being anxious. That's a little bit of a sleight of hand cognitive shift. Hey, tell you what, take your mind off of this fact that you're a little worried in here. Have a treat. Yeah, and by the way, we're going to go down this aisle over here, and we get to the end of it, have another treat. That's counter conditioning, not rewarding an undesired behavior. And then lastly, again, like over here, constant exposure only allow the dog to respond in a particular fashion to this environment, to this stimulus, to this event. Over a period of time, they will adopt the behavior that derives a benefit, not a cost, and they will become habituated to it just by exposure. Now, I've talked about it before in the past. I could go to the shelter today and adopt a dog that is extremely fearful of men. Extremely fearful. So hear me, I'm a guy. And I go and adopt this dog. I guarantee you, give me 6 weeks, 8 weeks maximum, and there's one guy in the world that this dog will not be afraid of, and that's yours truly. Yeah, and that's just a byproduct of habituation. I've been around it for a long period of time. Now, I may have to use some other tools to get to it, but I will. All right, Cal Dog, you've done a great job there, buddy. Allow me to demonstrate with it. But again, park your C's here. If you're on this side of the equation, this is going to be a little bit of a longer process to work through. It definitely is, but you can get through it. And if you have any questions on them, send them to me. I'll be glad to try and help you out the best I can. And then we have this side over here. That's young dogs. That's puppy stuff. That's some older dogs as well. If I break out a ball right now and I keep talking to you guys, guarantee you Captain will start to whine because he's frustrated. This is the frustration side of the house. Again, look at little toddlers. Look at little, oh my gosh, whine. It may not come out and sound like a dog whine, but it's the human equivalent of a whine. I'm frustrated. I want that, and I can't have it right now. And that's why you have it. So there you go, guys. That's it on whining. That's it. So again, take a picture of the board when you watch this video. Make sure you know what side of the column you're working with, and then let's get it done, especially the side over here. Okay, that's it for today. You guys have a great training day, and make sure that you're always safe while you're out there. And again, one last time, thank you for all the people who reached out to me yesterday. Your kind words were taken to my heart, and I really appreciate it. Have a good day. Cal Dog.